So getting ready for the PMP and CAPM exams can be a pretty grueling and expensive experience. So these are our tips for how to pass on the first try. But before I get started, let me mention that there's lots of free certification prep materials at projectprep.org. If you're interested, that'll help you along the way. And also, you don't have to memorize all the tips in this video. We've got a cheat sheet to go along with this to help you remember them. And that's available at projectprep.org. So here's an overview of our tips to pass your exam on the first try. First, pick a specific date to take the exam. Then build the daily study habit and use the right study tools. And then master the processes in the ITTOs. And then take time to relax before the exam and download our free prep materials. So let's walk through each of those in a little more detail. First, pick a specific date to take the exam. Now, the truth is that deadlines motivate us and they drive us. And the research confirms this. If we set a specific date, it's going to motivate us. But what we also have to remember is that we have to set a realistic date. It can't be too aggressive. And the next slide is going to help with that. The question you need to ask about setting a date is, how much can I study each day? Now, these are just some general guidelines. You may need to adjust it based on how you feel. But we usually say that if you can study for 90 minutes a day, you could probably study for 30 days and be ready. If you have 45 minutes you can study each day, you could probably study within a 60-day period. But if you only have 30 minutes to study each day, we recommend studying for 90 days. Our general or our most common recommendation is to study for 30 to 45 minutes over a 90-day period. It gives you time for the content to settle and develop in your mind. Now, once you pick a date, what's important is to mark it on your calendar and then share it with a friend and send them regular updates. That can keep you accountable. Okay, here's the second tip. Build a daily study habit. So consistent study is key. You want to study every day. And the truth is, you don't build muscles in a day, and you're not going to be ready for the exam in a day. Cramming just doesn't work. It's not effective here. And what's key is that you, or at least we suggest, to study at the same time each day. Build in that habit. Now, it's going to be different for each of us. For me, it might work for me to study when my kids go to bed. Maybe for others, it's their lunchtime. You got to decide what the best time is for you. Another suggestion we make is to get the support of your family. You don't want your studies to hurt those relationships, and so get feedback from them about what the best study times are. It's a big commitment, and you want them to be involved in it. And then when you study, avoid distractions. Turn off the TV, the music, silence your phone, exit other applications. Just focus. Make best use of that study time you have. Now here's our third tip. Use the right study tools. Our suggestion is to avoid huge study manuals or certification guides. The first problem with those is you can't use those as education hours or contact hours that you need to prepare for the PMP exam. And plus, they're boring. A lot of them will just put you right to sleep. Our suggestion is to use the trifecta, a combination of videos, cheat sheets, and practice tests. So when it comes to videos, we suggest investing in an online course and ensuring that that course offers contact hours, or the education hours you need to take the PMP exam. And then watch a few course videos each day. And then use cheat sheets. Take these things everywhere. Study them anytime you have a free minute, whether it's waiting at the doctor's office or waiting to pick up a kid from school. And then consider creating note cards as well. And then use practice tests. We can't stress the importance of this enough. Take several full-length practice tests throughout your studies. Maybe take one every week or one every other week, and make sure you're improving over time. And then after you take a practice test, review your missed questions. And we just suggest assuming that these practice tests are easier than the actual exam, just to be safe. And then each day after reviewing new material, just refresh on the previous material so you don't forget it. So here's the fourth tip. Master the processes and the ITTOs. These are an important part of the exam. And there's 49 PMBOK processes. These are the things that we do in project management, and the exams test on those. Some example processes include develop schedule, estimate costs, define scope, and so on. Now, each of these processes, these things that we do in project management, have ITTOs, inputs, tools and techniques, and outputs. And you can think of these ITTOs as the recipes for project management. Here's an example in baking. Maybe we're making bread. That's a process. And in order to make that bread, we have inputs like flour and tools and techniques we use to make the bread. And we hope the output is a delicious loaf. That's our goal. And so these PMBOK our project management processes are the same way. So an example is to develop the project management plan. We have an input, or one of the inputs is the project charter, one of the tools or techniques is facilitation, and the output is the project management plan. Each of these processes have those inputs, tools and techniques, and outputs. Now it can be totally overwhelming because there's tons of these ITTOs. But we've got a few things to help. We've got a few video guides available at projectprep.org, and then plenty of freebies. We've got a process reference, an ITTO spreadsheet, ITTO note cards, and ITTO blank sheets where you can write the ITTOs to help you remember them. So here's our fifth tip: relax before the exam. You want to make sure you take time to recharge so you're ready. So one day before the exam, we suggest only doing a light review, if any, and then watching a good movie and getting to bed early. Make sure you rest your brain. And on the day of the exam, take the day off of work, make sure the exam is your focus. Eat light foods, so think about salads as opposed to hamburgers, and allow yourself plenty of time to get ready and travel. You don't want that added stress. And we suggest planning a fun activity for after the exam. It gives you something to look forward to. Now, during the exam, get comfortable, bring a sweater and take your shoes off if they allow that, and try to take at least one bathroom break and stretch. It might take away from your exam time, but it could help you refocus. Here's our sixth tip. Download our free prep materials. So we've got a ton of free prep materials at projectprep.org that can help you along the way. We've got cheat sheets, full-length practice tests, note cards, and lots more. Now, as a final reminder, here are our tips to pass in the first try. Pick a specific date to take the exam. Build a daily study habit. Use the right study tools. Master the processes in the ITTOs. Relax before the exam, and download our free prep materials.